approve the minutes from March 22nd, 2002. They were in your packets. Everyone had a chance to go over them?
Yeah, make a motion. As read,
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Minutes are approved as printed. Before we get to our new cases, new business, I just wanna, this is our first time meeting in person. I'd like to welcome Kara to our gang here. She'll be taking over from Amanda pretty soon, and they're working together to get things in line for us, so appreciate you being here. And old business, we approved a case a few months back for 191 Leonard Street. And there seemed to be a little bit of an issue with the building department on how we came to the determination. So he wrote us a letter basically asking us to just put in writing from our letterhead that we just felt that the pre-existing non-conforming use is gonna remain and be less offensive to the neighborhood than it is in its current condition. So I'm just gonna have Kara draft that up, and if you gentlemen agree, we can get that signed next time we're in, okay?
Fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna move right on to our new cases. The first one's actually continuation of the case 2021.12.07A, continuation of a case from John LeBlanc, and I'm gonna just stop there and not read the whole thing. We got a letter, an email from Mr. LeBlanc, couldn't be in town, he's not around, and he would respectfully requested that we continue him to our next meeting. Is there any opposition to that? I don't know if anybody's here from that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, so the first case, we will be continuing to our next meeting in May, and that is going to be on May 31st, 2021.
22.
22, sorry. May 31st, 22. Motion moved. Our next case, yes.
Can we object to that we plan to be here and he
Is not.
is not?
Oh, that's the reason you're here,
Yeah,
for that case?
yeah.
Oh,
I just, it's a question.
This
It's
is
just
like
a
the
question,
third
if
time.
we need,
Yes.
if we need to reschedule it, then.
I agree, it has been pushed back. The biggest reason we're gonna allow it is because it was us who kept moving it back for a while. We had issues with the board and with COVID and meeting, and we had to delay him 3 times in order to get him the first meeting, which was last time. We did come up with some issues, we thought, as well as, you think.
However, even at the last meeting, I had my hand raised during the Zoom meeting and wasn't acknowledged, so we're just trying to understand with this new process.
How many people are here for, that are butters? So, about half.
oh, well.
So we're just trying to figure out the
My
process.
apologies. What I will say is the board sees you all here, and at the next meeting, we will make sure that we handle it. I'm gonna apologize again because we made the vote before you raised your hand, and now that I see there's so many of you, I feel maybe we acted too quick, but we,
Some acknowledgement of,
yeah, we did already take the vote, so we are gonna have them next meeting, but I assure you, we will do everything possible to make sure that's the last time that you have to come to be heard.
And you'll be the first case.
And
Yeah.
it will be first.
Apologize once
yeah,
again.
we have been.
Against
And is that, will it allow us, is there any way of getting questions answered?
Ahead of time.
Until, by May, before May 31st? Or is that something we have to
the
address
building
here?
inspector, maybe.
We've been there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the questions are, but without him being able to be here to answer your
Respond, of
questions,
course.
there's not much we can discuss with the case. I know there's many reasons that this may not be allowed. If he comes forward and finds some, and, I don't wanna speak for or against it without all parties here, but please show up to the next meeting.
Okay.
How about if we do it this way? If he doesn't show up for the next meeting, we just dismiss it?
We
Right.
absolutely can.
Yeah.
We could have tonight, but I
Yeah.
think, in
I'm just
fairness,
saying-
because we put him off so many times,
That's what I'm
we'll
just
give one
making a
more shot.
suggestion.
And
Yeah.
I didn't
You
realize
you
there was
heard
a
the
big
board's
proposal.
opinion already. If he's not here next time, that's probably what's gonna take place, so.
Okay.
That's fine. Well, question, I'm dismissing it, does that stay status quo on what he has going on now? If you dismiss
Well,
that,
what's their status quo, as long as it pertains to what he was allowed through the last
Yeah.
variance he can do. If he's doing stuff that wasn't allowed, then, you know, status quo isn't okay. You know, he can't, because we haven't discussed, taken action on this case, doesn't mean he's able to do anything, you know, that he's asking for.
Yeah.
He can only operate in the manner that was
Or approved.
previously approved.
so if this gets dismissed, he's able to continue doing what he was previously approved for?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't remove an old variance. You know, he's asking for something more, and,
Yeah,
you know,
but it was abandoned, he abandoned that variance.
That's, a lot of the language comes from the bylaws
Yeah.
that pertains to the board for clarification from the butter's perspective. That's where we're kind of looking for some clarification regarding,
our
The
board
process.
only decides, with your help, whether or
Mhm.
not we can allow a use. If he's doing something that's not allowed, it's a building department issue. Jim Merritt would have to handle anything that's ongoing, you know, pertaining to a
Daily routine.
daily
Business.
routine with the old variance, or anything that isn't included with the old variance, or
Yeah.
anything new that he's trying to do, you know, in any shape or manner. Whatever's happening over there is a zoning enforcement issue, and that's Jim's job. Our job is just to, when there's a zoning issue that needs to be appealed, because the building department says you can't have your permit to do something, you can come here and ask for permission. But without it being granted, the zoning officer is the officer who, you know, has to enforce the current laws.
building department.
Yes.
Okay.
Building department is the zoning officer as well. So he's, wears two hats.
Okay.
Okay. The next case, case of Eric James.
Sorry about that, once again.
Case of
Give
Eric
us
James of
space.
CS Energy located at 100 Grove
See
Street,
you tomorrow, Lou. Okay.
102 Worcester, Mass. Petitioning the board for approval for the infringement of two solar panel arrays located at 88 Wing Lane, which were installed contrary to the planning board's approval of the special permit and in conflict with zoning regulations. This request is being made under the provision of section 3.10 expedited permitting. Speak.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Wister Desir. I'm the construction project manager with CVE North America. We are the owner of the solar site on 88 Wingland.
My name's Eric James. I am with the EPC contractor, so we constructed the project. And I'm here with Worcester to go over this with you guys and see if we can seek an approval for the tables that are encroaching in the 30-foot setback on the
Three
property.
of them, right?
So this is
So-
already in place.
So it's built,
Yeah.
and I can give you guys a little history of actually everything that happened, but essentially, the plan you have in front of you there is where the tables are constructed. There's approximately 20 individual solar panels, so the northernmost table in the setback is 12 solar panels. It's a 2x6 table with 4 posts. The one right to the south of that is a 2x12 table, and about 8 of the top row solar panels are encroaching on that setback line. We went through the planning board and we were given a special permit with a plan set back in 2019. The plan set that was issued from the special permit did not have those tables in there. Throughout the process on how these solar fields work, oftentimes it's a conceptual drawing that's given, and once the electrical and the racking system are fully designed, the layout changes slightly. We submitted an updated plan set with the building permit application, which is that exact plan set right there,
Mhm.
which has the encroaching tables in it. The building permit was approved with the encroaching tables in there, and it was a miss on us, on our civil engineering, on everybody in the mix, more or less. It should have never been submitted with the encroaching tables, should have been never built with the encroaching tables, but it was. And that's how it sits now. And, I have spoken with Mr. Merritt about this issue. I know he...
This has been here for 4 years, is that what you're telling us?
No, this has been here for, when was this finally constructed, Worcester, I guess?
Last October, no?
Last October.
Okay.
So it's been there for a little while.
6 months.
6 months or so. The property abutting it, I know it's, an Eversource easement. There's like a pond there. I don't think it's buildable by any means at any point in the future. I know we submitted the abutters list as part of this. And so what we're asking is to allow us to leave those tables in that encroaching setback line where they stand, to maintain our full field capacity as it is, interconnected with the grid and interconnected on behalf of CVE, so that we can continue to operate with the full capacity of the field and not have to remove that, because it causes a lot of issues on our end.
Are there any abutters here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's the arrays that you put in, they weren't in the original plans towards the high tension lines, and they're not.
Correct.
It's just.
Long story short, the reason why I wanted to come here is because they managed to, by accident, cut about 30 of our trees when they were putting this in.
Okay.
And I just wanted to make sure, because 2 and 2 does equal 4, is that's where the extra panels ended up going, now that they got a little bit more sunlight coming in. So I just wanted to make sure, but it's on the high tension side.
It's on the high
Yeah,
tension
it's
side.
on the
Yeah.
north.
Fine with me.
Can I ask your name and address for the record, please?
It's Mike DeRosa, 104 Wing Lane.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely on the northern tip of the.
Yeah.
of the
Is there any other abutters?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request.
Nobody else wants to speak? Okay, if,
I'll second it.
Okay?
okay, we got a motion and a second. I agree, there's no, they're there, and if there's not bothering that, and I can see the easement, right in the map, that it's obviously all high tension lines that they're against. So it's, the way the lot is shaped, they're parallel with the high tension lines all the way down, but when you get to the back corner, you cut a little close. We got a motion and a second.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody here to shoot it down, so all in favor?
Aye.
All set, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for
And
your
we'll tell
time.
you how to proceed.
Appreciate it.
Here, I'll write this.
Did you get all those other issues all straightened away?
Yes.
Very good.
Hopefully, as much as we'd like to see you again, but
Not this way, huh?
yes.
So sign 2 of these for me.
Sure. I think this is me with this.
Yep, 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 yep. One's for you, one's for me, and this will explain, slash. So that one's for you, this one's for me, thank you, you're all set.
Thank you
And
very
then
much.
my line
Have a good evening.
stuff, I will pick out for my next meeting.
No, I don't need to. Okay, good, sure.
Oh, sure.
That's it. Next case, 2022-04-26B, case of Rita Swick of 32 Bardsley Street, Acushnet, petitioning the board for a special permit for the board's approval of an existing accessory apartment. The original permit allowed for the construction of a 26 by 26 addition according to approved plans of a 2-car garage and walk-up storage of the second floor. This request is being made under the provisions of section 334B1. Hi, Rita.
Hi. So, when we built this, we had, the plans drawn up, and, Jim came in and gave me a permit for plumbing, and, he walked through the house, and he gave me an occupancy permit, and I just put the occupancy permit in the drawer. So my ex-husband built this, and I put the occupancy permit in the drawer. And then I went, about a year ago to get, another electrical meter, and they said that I had one dwelling there. So I had the occupancy permit, and I have the occupancy permit for the other house. So they gave me an occupancy permit. He gave me, he gave me a permit for plumbing, and when I go to the registry of deeds in New Bedford, they said that I have 2 kitchens in that house. So I have, so they're calling it 2 houses, but what Jim said is this is an occupancy permit for, storage, but he came and looked at the electrical, he looked at the plumbing, he gave me a permit for plumbing, it's still stuck on my house. So he gave me the permit, it's right here, to do the plumbing in my house.
Why you coming, can I
How
see
long
the
ago
copy of the
was-
plans?
This is 14 years ago, I've been
Okay.
living in this house for 14 years.
This is just above the 2-car garage.
Yeah,
right?
and so I've been living here for 14 years,
Yeah,
and
I went by it
this
today.
is,
It's
this is the
beautiful.
permit that he gave me for plumbing and electrical, he gave me the electrical. But he said when I came to get an electric, so I could split up
So
just
you
the
could have-
electrical for 3 different spaces,
Yep.
because like the salon was connected to the house, and I just wanted to make it so the people in the
Just one
house weren't
half of
paying,
it, yeah.
you know, for the I was like trying to make it fair on them. And then a year ago, he told me, not a year ago, but about 6 months ago, he said that what this permit says is it's only for storage. And I said, but Jim, you gave me the permit and all the plumbing and the electrical and everything to build that. Like, I didn't build it like for storage, I built it for me to live in it, and he gave me the permits. So when I came in to get the electrical, he said, this is just for storage. But I've been living there for 14 years, so,
This is just a minor thing, it's all up to the guys, but I think it's an easy.
We,
and so I went to the registry of deeds in New Bedford, and they said, you've got 2 kitchens there, right? I'm like, yeah, because I live in one. And Jim came up, I had my kitchen, all the furniture, everything was there. He came up into my house, he came in the garage, he went through the whole house, and he said, all right, here's your permit.
what it is because it's an accessory apartment, he can't issue you a permit to do it. It has to come through the board, has to be recorded at the registry of deeds. I don't think there's a big issue. The biggest thing is like the 25% rule. Do you know how big the existing house is and how
I
big
don't know
the?
nothing about it. When I was in the main house, my ex-husband, the pool fell, he wanted a 2-car garage, we came and got a permit for that. He
This
built
is
the
just
garage.
above the 2-car garage,
Yeah,
right? That's
no,
all
well,
it
he
is.
wanted a 2-car garage, and then we put the apartment, and we moved up, and I spoke to Jim, and Jim came and he looked at everything, and as he was leaving, he said, oh, you just gotta cover those wires, that's it. And then he said, all right, you're all set. So I moved in, and we lived there, I've been living there for 14 years, I went in, come in to get an electrical box, so I could split the 3 units, so the electricity could be paid by who was in the unit, and to do it legally, and he said, you don't have an occupancy permit, so, and that's where I stand with, I'm just looking to be compliant with the rule of Acushnet, because I thought I was, because I had this, but he said, that's only for storage.
We,
I'm like,
we,
oh,
we
whatever.
can vote to approve the accessory apartment, but we really are supposed to list the square footage and other information on it. We should have a plan on file for it.
So, what do you want me to do?
Can you get us a plan of what's there?
I
This,
believe the original one with the 2-car garage had the storage area above it, correct?
Yeah, it's right here, it's
No,
like.
I understand, I went by the house today.
Yeah,
I'm just saying now, in order for you to put the electric there, you have to have an accessory apartment.
there's already electric there.
Yeah.
One electric meter goes to my apartment, and one electric meter goes to the house.
Yep.
I'm not adding an electric to the house. I'm just
Just split it.
taking the
Split it.
salon and
Yeah.
splitting it, that's
Yep,
it.
I understand.
So, I'm not doing anything to either house, because they're already, the electric was already approved, and the plumbing was already approved, and I'm getting taxed on an apartment.
Amanda, when we generally approve the accessory apartments, does it have information? I mean, we don't just approve an accessory apartment, right? We approve it to the plans with square footage or?
Yes, and if it's over the 25%, we know what the difference is.
Correct,
If
because
it's
we need a variance for that as well.
Because you have to approve, yeah, for the difference over the 25.
It's not like if you go over the 25%, we won't allow it, but we have to, it's a special permit. You know, you got your special permit for your accessory apartment and a variance for the square footage exceeding the 25%. Without the information, it's hard for us to make you legal.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean.
So you'd have to get two different approvals instead of just the okay for the special permit to have that accessory apartment.
If it's over 20, I'm not
If
saying it
it's-
is,
yeah,
I'm just
we
saying I
don't
don't
know
It's been there
know.
for 14 years, I don't know anything, I just lived there. My ex-husband built it.
So maybe
Built
the
it with-
assessor's office might be able to.
Yeah, they have all the
to
information,
with
they've
it.
gone over, we've gone over this many times, and it's just like, I just want, you know, I talked to Jim, and he's like, you gotta bring it here, so I
To be
just,
able to get,
he says, draw in the kitchen where the kitchen is, and I'm like, let me, Joey, I'll draw you a stick figure, and you see if I can draw where
See
the
if-
kitchen is,
yeah.
like, forget it, I'm a hairdresser, that's it, so.
I only
Everything
have
is-
the plan for the addition, I don't have the plan for the house. The square footage according to the assessors at some point, this is way back before any of this was built, probably the salon, anything,
The house was
is
built
1,000
27
square
years ago.
feet. Yeah, I just,
The only thing is if they approve the accessory apartment, if it's over that 25%, that number is based off of the whole square footage of the house. So if they approve the apartment aspect of it, but it's over that 25%, it won't do you any good, it won't make it legal, and then
Yeah.
you'll be back here.
Right.
So we're just trying to figure out if you need both approvals or just the one to be able to get you up to compliance. But without knowing the number we have to work with,
Mhm.
we can't get that 25% to be able to give you the other approval should you need it,
So,
is what it
does
is.
Jim usually come to these meetings?
So,
Because he's the one that's.
not
only
unless
been here.
he's requested to.
Oh, so, alright.
But that's why I'm wondering if the assessor's office could help you, because they should have the square footage of the house,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
the
pay
different
taxes on it,
areas.
so they must have it.
Exactly, and that's how we could determine, if you could get those numbers, how to determine that 25%.
What's 25%, like?
25% of the
building-
square footage of the living area.
if you have 2,000 square foot of living area, your apartment can be 500 square feet. If you have, 4,000 square feet, it can be 1,000 square feet.
Can you say that again?
The size of the apartment is based off of the size of the house, pretty much. So
It
you
can-
can get approval for,
Oh, so if the house is 75% of the building.
Correct.
And the apartment is 25%,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Correct.
yeah, so the bigger the house, the bigger the apartment can be.
All right, so it
Yeah.
is, I'm probably pretty sure the house is pretty big.
Yeah,
It's
so
got-
that's
no,
how
it's
we have to
huge.
figure out that 25%.
I'm not saying it's not, I just
No,
don't
no,
have
no,
it here.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Just tell me what to do and I'll go to the
That's-
assessor's office next, I guess.
Could we approve this on the condition that the apartment is less than 25%?
I don't see
Can we
why
do
not.
that?
Well, the
Yeah,
only
because
thing
of
is
the
if
garage.
it's over 25, then you already have a decision and she's starting from scratch to come back for a variance.
Oh,
She's gotta reapply.
Yeah, and you don't wanna
No.
have to do
No, because
that.
I paid
No.
$300
Right,
to
no, you
Correct.
don't wanna
to
do
live
that.
in a house that
And
I'm already living
another
in.
3 months, so.
Yeah. Oh, it's every 3 months?
Basically, by the time you put your paperwork in, wait a month to get here, wait your 30 days to be able to do it, so, it does take time. I'm just gonna say, it's in your best interest to ask us to continue this and bring us some more information next
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah.
to
When-
make
when-
sure you're in compliance with the
Yeah.
25%.
Yeah. So does the garage count as 25%?
It's living area.
Oh, yeah, it's not.
All your living
So
area
this,
versus living area.
this area is not, this is 75, maybe 80%, and this is probably 20%.
That's perfect.
Right,
That's what you
all right,
want.
so that's, okay. So I'll be within.
Then it's
living
easy for
area.
us to just,
Because I have like double the living area in that other house, because the whole upstairs in the other house, and then the salon is not living area, it's my salon. And then upstairs is just 2 bedrooms and a bath and a kitchen, and living, so it's small, it's like, whatever.
I am gonna ask, just because I jumped
Yep.
the gun last time. Is there anybody here for this case to speak for or against?
Yeah, we got this letter because we have the choice to talk about how we feel about the property, correct? And the addition of a living space for an apartment,
Correct.
so.
That's why I asked if there was
Yep.
anybody wanted to talk. If
Yeah,
you do, if
so
you could
I-
come up to the podium and state who you are.
You're against Rita?
Yeah, my name is Ron Coster. I've been living on 33 Bardsley Street for better part of 30 years. And I just wanted to say that if there's gonna be, another apartment there, it just adds to the, the balance of the neighborhood. There's more cars in the neighborhood, there's more people in the neighborhood. When the winter comes, there's cars on the street and there's snow all over the place. There's people coming that we really don't know. And if we're already looking at, there's a house there, nobody's complaining about the salon, or if there's other people living there. There's already infrastructure there for other things. So now we're facing another apartment and this added, this added flow there. And we don't know what happens if she sells the property, right? Does these special permits go to the next owner? And we
With
don't
an
know
accessory apartment,
what-
yes.
Yeah, we don't know what they're gonna do with that, and it's just a quiet neighborhood, and we're concerned about that.
Thank you for speaking. Your concern is noted.
Thank you.
I do believe we're hearing that the unit is not changing. The use is staying the same. It's always been an apartment.
It's always been.
Been there for 14 years. Someone's been living in this apartment.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're adding another apartment. What she's looking for is the approval of something she thought was legal.
Where did we ever see approval for an apartment in the first place? I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So, explain to us that one.
So I got, if you look here, I got the approval for the plumbing, the electrical, and that was the additional, the addition is on that, that's been approved. That's all been approved, and they gave me electric and plumbing approval, and a kitchen approval, because that's in the registry of deeds in New Bedford, that it says I have 2 kitchens. So it was all approved. What happened is, that never got on paper. So you can see I have one, I didn't do it. It was when my ex-husband was building, he built with Joe Dupree.
Yep.
And what happened was, they were building the apartment, and they got all the approvals. And like I showed you on my phone, I got a sticker for all the plumbing, and and I don't know why the town doesn't have, like, we gave Rita an approval for the plumbing, and we gave Rita approval for electric, because I would think the town would have those papers too, saying we issued a plumbing, we issued an electrical, and we issued the occupancy permit. Like, nothing's, the town doesn't even have record, and I have record that I have plumbing, I have a permit for plumbing. It's still, the sticker is still on the plumbing. So there was a issued plumbing inspection and a sticker for the electrical, and it was all approved. And then he came in, he looked at all the electrical, the plumbing, because you have to look at each stage before you can do another stage. Jim came in and looked at each stage, and then
Well,
when
Jim doesn't inspect the plumbing or electrical. He does not inspect any of that.
he walked through the house.
I believe you.
Okay,
I'm not
all
saying he didn't.
Right.
He
But
didn't
no,
inspect
he
the
didn't
plumbing.
inspect it. I just have
Separate
a
people,
permit.
trades.
Yeah, everybody that came in, they have to have a permit
Yep.
to get plumbing. So they give them the permit and they stick it on the thing.
Yep.
And then somebody comes in for electric, they got the sticker, and I'm thinking, okay, we got a permit for that, we got a permit to do this. And then I come back and
them permits were all pulled
yes,
prior to your occupancy permit.
yes. Yep, everything was pulled because we were building the house. I mean, you can't miss it. You've been by it, you can't miss it, right? So I didn't pull it. Whoever did the plumbing has to pull a plumbing permit, and that is still stuck on the plumbing. You can see the plumbing coming down, it goes into my washer and dryer area, and you can see that, and it has the sticker still on it. And then we got the permit to build this whole thing, and then Jim came in and walked through to give me my occupancy permit. I'm pretty sure it was Jim, because he told me at that time, okay, Rita, you're all set, and I was like, okay, we're done. Sweep the floor and go to bed.
where we don't have them permits or any of
Yeah,
that.
and why, I was wondering why
Here.
the town wouldn't have
I,
that.
I'd like you to, you say you have them on the phone and stuff, and
So-
that's fine, I believe you.
Oh, all right,
But I think we need to make sure that you comply with the 25%,
okay.
because you never did get a,
Well, if there's no
even though you
floor
went,
plan,
even
no floor
though
plan.
you did this stuff and the
I
permit,
didn't do it, but,
whoever, the
Yeah.
permit was for storage, it
Mhm.
says so right on it.
right.
At some point, that changed, and if you
Right.
got the right permits to put in the plumbing and do the wiring and do all that, you know, I think there should be some leeway, but at the same time, I think we need to make sure that you comply, you have the 25%.
Yeah, so
and the
I'll
other
come
stuff.
back with all
So,
the information.
I think we should continue till the next meeting,
Right.
have you, you know, be able to bring some of
Make
that
sure like I have the
information in,
25%,
give the abutters,
okay.
you know, their time to speak as well, and we can make a decision based on all the facts instead of just, we really don't have enough to approve it tonight, so I think it's in your best interest to,
Okay.
Come back.
And when would be the next meeting, 3 months?
no, it's,
May
May 31st,
In the next month.
Okay,
5 weeks.
Okay.
Okay,
all right, thank you.
is there a motion to approve the
Oh,
continuance?
motion to approve the continuance.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rita? We're just gonna have something for you to sign, showing the continue.
Peter, I think this is yours.
So then it's on the 31st?
Yep, it'll be the 31st at 6:30.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Next case, case 2022-0426C, case of Jose Madruga of 12 South Orchard Street, Acushnet, who's petitioning the board for a variance, 9 foot, to be able to construct a garage on the property. Request being made under the provisions of section 331 RA District E Development Standards. Mr. Madruga,
So I'd rather do what's right, like I've been trying.
how are you this evening?
Good, you. Hoping you say yes, and that's it.
We got a letter from the building department. Mr. Madruga has submitted plan for construction of a garage on his property, 12 South Orchard Street. The plan demonstrates that the addition will be in line with the existing dwelling, which does not meet the minimum setback of the district. The provided site plan shows the distance of 16 foot from the layout, front line of way. The RA district requires front setbacks of 25 feet, which would require the board to grant a 9-foot variance. Given the frontage from Mr. Madruga's lot is on a portion of South Orchard Street, which remains undeveloped, he may have some right to a portion of Paper Street. I suggested Mr. Madruga adjust the plan to bring in compliance with the Board of Selectmen to relinquish any right-of-way to the portion of way or seek some other remedy from his attorney, as a Paper Street, according to the deed, may provide him rights to that portion of South Orchard not developed. Both potential remedies to the problem which should be considered. As it stands, the board may not be able to justify the variance, as this is not a hardship presented by a condition of land grant may be perceived as capricious act contrary to the requirements of the zoning law. I do disagree with that last statement, although I highly value Mr. Narrett's opinion. We're all familiar with that end of town and all the houses on it. I didn't drive by this one, I Googled it, it was pretty clear, just as Mr. Narrett said, that the street ends about halfway down his lot, it's all just green grass. My thing with this is, it's a legally non-conforming lot, non-conforming building, and him continuing to put it straight with the lot line doesn't make it more non-conforming, in my opinion.
So either.
So, based on that, I'm all for it. Had you wanted to come forward a foot, I would say you can't do that. because you're making it more non-conforming. Keeping it in line with what's there, it's further from the street than the rest of the houses in the neighborhood, and he's keeping it the same. But before we discuss any more, I always like to ask, are there any abutters for or against who would like to speak on this matter? Anybody else on the board want to share their opinion?
I went by, I looked at it, as you look at your house, you're gonna build a garage on the right-hand side, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep, they've been there 40 years that I've been up and down that street. Go for positive on this.
Yeah, no problem. I can make
Yeah,
a
no
motion on
problem.
that to approve it as is.
We have a
Second,
motion
I'd second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All set, all set.
Have a good night.
See, you gotta come out here, sir. See Karen and Amanda.
So that one's to be,
Give them 1 minute before we get into the last case.
It's a lot easier to sign it here, well, so you're going around during the daytime, like that.
This will explain the appeal period and reject the conflicts on this once that's done, and they'll give you what you need to bring to the registry of deeds to have it filed. There you go, and this one's here. All set?
Thanks, guys.
Oh, is it? Looks good.
Thanks. My first time.
Yeah.
Okay, it works though.
Our last case, case of Alder Martins, 3 Angora Avenue, Acushnet, case number 2022-0426D. Petitioning the board for a special permit to be able to construct an addition with the existing structure with a proposed use as an accessory apartment and inclusively for a variance of 41 feet. This request is being made under the provisions of section 331B and 314B. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
The 41 feet, that is what we're talking about, the 25%, right? You're looking for 41 feet more than the 25% allowed?
I think so, because the house is only 1,700 square feet,
Okay.
and the addition is just about 1,000.
And it says take care of your parents?
Yeah, my father's gonna be 85, and my mom's 77. They live in Acushnet now, on Gable Farm Drive, but it's getting to be too much for them.
Yeah.
My father's really declined the past year, so it'll be easier if I'm right there.
Is there any abutters? Okay.
I just came here to listen, I didn't know anything about it, so
Okay.
I just came to listen, see what's going on, and
So your
Do you
neighbors,
have any concerns, do you have any concerns about the addition going on in the property? or-
I mean, just knowing the house, I'd imagine it's coming to my side. I'm 9 Angora, so I'm
You
to
have
your
one right
left.
next door to me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
But do you know where my swing set is? So it's gonna
no.
be far away. Like-
No, I mean, like I say, it's your property, I mean.
so,
That's exactly what we like to hear.
Yeah,
Thank you very
I'm-
much.
You do what
I
you
make a
want on
motion
your
to approve it.
You do what you want on your side, you let me do what I want on my side.
There's American right there.
neighbors are looking to put a 24-foot addition on the left side of their property, and also seeking the use as an accessory apartment, meaning that there'll be somebody else dwelling there.
Yeah.
Another kitchen, another bath, another whole in-law type setup.
Yeah.
So that is allowed in town by special permit, up to
Okay.
25%.
Yeah.
But we always, you know, it is a special permit, so we request that neighbors come in and give any reason that it would, you know, devaluate their property or anything like that. So, sounds like you don't think so.
I don't think so, I
And
mean,
you don't have anything else to offer?
no, I mean, it's gonna be for family, so if I gotta do the same for mine, I just hope the same approval.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
So,
Pretty simple
I'm just gonna.
for family,
Yeah,
so.
all right.
Now, that's one thing, like, I lived in Rochester before, and the neighbor came in and they did the same thing. And they put it in as like family use. So that way it can't be like, somebody buys it and just starts renting it out. Is that how, what's that?
We don't have a provision for that.
Okay,
Once it's there, it's,
pay
the
again.
use is,
It's out of our control.
whatever, yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have a, we don't, even if they said right now that it isn't for family, it's an accessory apartment, it's all.
Actually, I should say, I'm sorry, I should say that it wasn't for family, it was for that no matter what, the person that owned the house had to live there, along with the other person. But, I mean, like I said, I'm not here to bust anybody's time or something like that, so I'm just
I don't
here to
want anyone
listen.
living there but family.
No, it wasn't about you guys, it's for
Yeah.
future things, that way somebody just doesn't come buy the property
They sell it.
and do whatever.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of these properties in this town that may be like that, but there's none down there, but like I say, I'm not here to give you a hard time, I'm just here to listen.
I'm gonna read the building department letter also, which clarifies the 41 feet a little bit. Mrs. Martins has applied for an addition to her existing dwelling with a proposed use of an accessory apartment. In all other aspects of her application, the proposed use falls within the conditions established under the zoning bylaws except for the allowed size of the apartment in relation to the dwelling. She will be required to get approval from the Board of Health. If the Board of Health approves the two-bedroom addition, the Board of Appeals may take action on the project as a special permit for the apartment in and exclusively for a variance of 41 square feet to meet the 25% requirement. If all conditions are met, after registration of the board's decision with the Bristol County Registry of Deeds may apply to this department for further review for her application to construct. So, we have to approve a special permit for the in-law apartment, and we have to approve a variance for 41 square feet so that she, because she does not meet the 25%, but she's looking for 41 square feet
Right.
in addition. Any motion?
Make a motion to accept as is.
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So you are approved to build your accessory apartment and to allow 41 square feet over the 25% requirement. That is not a permit to go ahead. You have to file this. You still have to get your building permit and meet the Board of Health and all that other stuff. But our board is allowing the construction.
The builder takes care of all that, right?
I'm sorry?
The builder
Building
usually
department
takes
will
care of
handle
all that.
everything?
No, I mean the builder.
Oh, the builder.
that's
The builder,
actually
yeah.
gonna build.
After your 30-day appeal period. And
Oh, okay, so we have to wait 30 days and then he can start doing
So
the
you
You have to
permit.
Register
register
it
at
at
the
the
registry of
registry.
deeds. Make sure you register at the registry of deeds and get a copy of that to bring to the building department.
Before I build,
After 30 days.
after the 30 days. Will I get something in
See
the
the
mail
boss,
that
she'll
tells
tell
me
you
what to
exactly.
do?
Yep, right here. So it's a 20-day appeal period. So I'm gonna have you sign both of these, once we. Now it's gonna 20-day appeal period, and then at the end of it, you can go to the town clerk's office, they'll type it out for you. And then you just pick that up and have it brought to the registry of deeds, and that'll make it official. There you go. So that one's for you, one's for me. You're
Thank you
awesome.
very much. Have a good night.
Put it through, and it doesn't comply, she's screwed. And it's easy to make it comply by just saying the square footage is that we approve it.
No, I understand completely. And someone else will have to do that.
All
One thing we didn't explain tonight is because there's only 4 board members, everybody had a chance to withdraw. We needed a unanimous vote.
Good point,
Yeah,
because it needed to be unanimous, you're right.
right, yeah.
So, anyways, we didn't have any
Put
issues,
that
so
stuff aside right now?
it's good
The paper.
to remember that, and we'll have to,
Did you send that over?
I gave it to
holding
You
this
sent the last one
up?
over?
Just holding on to it?
That it?
Yep. Okay, that was our last case, and I'll love to have a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have adjourned.